We're encouraging farmers to go for oil palm cultivation. Already 12 companies have been set up, which are going to procure from the farmers. I have laid the foundation for about 6 of them in the last couple of months. 20 lakh acres is what we would like to see under oil palm cultivation. It's a fantastic crop. Basically, एक बार plant कर दो, तो almost 35 years तक आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. चौथे साल से, from the 4th year, you will get a monthly income of rupees 12,000 per acre. It's almost like, basically getting a salary. So अगर आपके पास 10 acre है, you will be getting 1,20,000 per month, and it's a 35-year-long crop that requires very little power, very little water, very, very useful, and a buyback arrangement with the company. So these 5 revolutions in the hinterland, green, blue, pink, yellow, white. These are 5 sectors I would urge you to look at, because there are enough and more business opportunities. Business ideas, sir, are not something that we should be like thinking about. See, बैठ के एकदम 2 घंटे मेडिटेशन करके फिर बिजनेस के बारे में नहीं सोचना है. ट्रैविस के उबर के फाउंडर आए थे, ट्रैविस करके. ट्रैविस कलानिक इज द फाउंडर ऑफ उबर. सो इट कम टू हैदराबाद. तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, भाई तुम्हारा आइडिया कहाँ से आया है, तुम बताओ. तो उसने इतना साफ सीधा मतलब डायरेक्टली बताया मुझे. आई वाज ज़ैप्ड. ही सेड हम लोग, मैं और मेरे एक दोस्त 2008 और 9 में हम लोग गए थे पेरिस में, कहीं पब में गए थे. बाहर निकले 2-2:30 बज गया. फिर रोड में हम लोग थे, रोड पे. तो हम लोग टैक्सी को रोक रहे थे, बहुत कोशिश कर रहे थे, कोई नहीं रुक रहा था. फिर अब मेरा फ्रेंड ने कहा, अरे कितना जबरदस्त होता कि अगर एक बटन दबा देते तो टैक्सी आ जाता, कितना जबरदस्त होता. तो उसमें से निकला उबर. मेरा कहने का ये मतलब है कि हम लोग जब नए नए बिजनेस के बारे में सोचते हैं, बहुत दिमाग लगाते हैं, बहुत मेहनत करते हैं कि कुछ अलग करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. कुछ ना करो, आराम से बैठो, सोचो कि डेली पेन पॉइंट क्या है, पीपल का पेन पॉइंट क्या है, जो बाहर जो हो रहा है, बाहर जो हम देखते हैं यूएस में, वेस्ट में, वो अगर यहां करना है तो कैसे करें. वन ऑफ द थिंग्स यू कुड डू इज दैट, बिकॉज ऑन द ग्रोथ कर्व, ऑन द लर्निंग कर्व, ऑन द रेजिंग कर्व, वी आर लैगिंग बिहाइंड. तो जो आज यूएस में है, हम लोग शायद 25 साल या 30 साल पीछे हैं उनके. तो आज जो आपको देखने को मिल रहा है वहां पे, अगर वही चीज यहां पे करना है तो कैसे करें और कितना जल्दी करें और क्या लर्निंग हम लोग वहां से ला सकते हैं. So my point is basically that.
100%. I totally agree. All the 5 revolutions which you have mentioned about. In fact, the best thing is the kind of information you have. You can only do development when you have that kind of information and know about our state in so much detail. In, on a lighter side, earlier we used to say about politicians is, बर्बाद गुलिस्तान करने को बस एक ही उल्लू काफी है. हर शाख पे उल्लू
एक है आज हिंदुस्तान में.
You make it look like bed of roses. Frankly, it's like something on that front I would like to say, like कांटों से गुजर जाता हूं.
आप भी बात समझ लो, मैंने कहा एक है और सब लोग हंस रहे हैं, पता नहीं किसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं.
नहीं, but about you, कांटों से गुजर जाता हूं दामन को बचाकर. फूलों की सियासत से मैं बेगाना नहीं हूं. So that's something which I really appreciate.
फूलों की सियासत से बेगाना नहीं हूं.
मैं बेगाना नहीं हूं. So I'm very well versed with
Thank you so much.
and you will make it look like a bed of roses.
Appreciate.
So I would want to know, what are your political aspirations? What personally KT Rama Rao wants to be?
The first things, I think individuals don't matter in the large scheme of things, because it's always about institutions. Our leader tells us one thing. He says, build institutions that outlast individuals, build processes that outlast people. Because no individual is indispensable. अगर किसी को लगता है कि मेरे बगैर देश नहीं चलेगी, मेरे बगैर स्टेट नहीं चलेगी, तो बेवकूफ है, पहली बात तो. और दूसरी बात यह है सर कि if you institutionalize the change that you want to see, then it will outlast you. Because see, like I said, I have a philosophical outlook towards this. None of us is here permanently. हम लोग कब निकल जाएं किसी को नहीं पता. So we should ensure that while we are here, while we've been given an opportunity to do our best. Honestly, I'll have to tell you, sir, I have never thought in my wildest of dreams that I will become a legislator. मैं बस आया था ऐसे ही, gate crash कर गया मैं, without telling my father. I just resigned to my job. It was a very well-paying job back then, in 2004. Resigned, joined politics in 2006, and fortunately, people have blessed me, and now I won 4 elections. Never thought I would be an MLA. Never ever thought I would be a minister, because my dream was, our dream was, collective dream was to see that Telangana becomes a reality, and that's about it. उसके बाद कोई सपना नहीं था. आज बोनस है, जो भी मिल रहा है बोनस है. आज जब मिनिस्टर हूँ, काम कर रहा हूँ, और जिस दिन तक मुझे मतलब ब्लेसिंग मिलेगी of the people and of my leader will continue to work. No such tall aspirations. मैं मतलब चीफ मिनिस्टर, प्राइम मिनिस्टर, ऐसी कोई एस्पिरेशन नहीं है. जहां है वहां खुश है. मुझे दिल्ली वैसे पसंद नहीं है. मुझे हैदराबाद अच्छा लगता है. हैदराबाद में ही रहूंगा जब तक रहूंगा.
Thank you so much. And one more question is, you promote IT so much that everyone wants to work for big giants and work from home, make money. So what is happening is today, people coming out of colleges want to be in IT. So people who, like MSMEs, are really finding it difficult to find talent. And if we can, just like T-Hub, make some hubs for MSMEs where they can get training, financial assistance, financial management, HR, and stuff like that, it will be a great help for all of us. Is there something which you can think of?
The first thing I'll tell you is technology has become all pervasive. आज आपके हाथ में जो स्मार्टफोन है वो खुद एक कंप्यूटर है. तो आज कौन वाकिफ नहीं है टेक्नोलॉजी से, आप तो ये नहीं कर पाओगे. आपका ड्राइवर, आपके जो ऑफिस बॉय हैं, आपके जो सबऑर्डिनेट है, वो मे नॉट बी वेरी वेल रेड और वेल एजुकेटेड. Even they know how to use technology and how to engage with it. In today's world, if you do not engage with technology or the applications of technology, I think you will be lost. I mean, you'll be left behind. I understand your question. I'll come to it. My first point I'm trying to make is the realization that tech adoption is useful. I mean, not everybody needs to become a programmer and a coder. मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग लिखना नहीं है, कोडिंग करना नहीं है. मैं भी नहीं लिख सकता, मैं भी नहीं कर सकता. But what is important for us to realize is that the technology quotient that you need to know. You know, जैसा IQ था, now TQ आ गया, tech quotient. Now TQ is important for you to survive and thrive. Everybody, small business, big business, medium business, आपको जरूरी है बहुत. Number one. दूसरी बात जो आपने कहा, सही मैं सहमत हूँ. I completely agree, sir. That like I said, I think the focus on small and medium, especially in manufacturing and service sector. What I will tell you is we've created 3 or in fact 7 or 8 different institutions which will outlast me. T-Hub is one such, V-Hub is another, T-Works is another. And for those of you who are not familiar, my humble request is आपकी अगली BNI meeting, हम तैयार हैं, I'm open to you. If you can host it in one of these institutions, it will be useful for you, useful for me, useful for the state.
Wow.
I will request Jayesh Ranjan. Jayesh Ranjan will help you in hosting it there, any of these institutions. We've also built a number of other institutions like TASK, Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge. We've also built fantastic institutions like TSIC, the Telangana State Innovation Cell. We've built another institution called RICH, Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. ये अगर आप जाके इनके साथ बैठेंगे, समझेंगे, तो आपको एहसास होगा कि काफी कुछ किया गया है. Maybe some of the answers you're looking for are already there. Or alternatively, what we can also do is, in fact, just the other day, Dalit entrepreneurs, wanted to do something on their own and wanted to, set up a large-scale facility to promote diversity and inclusion, which I think is fantastic. Today companies like Salesforce have a chief diversity officer, so that people of all hues and shades join the business and join the growth story. So one of the important things we can do as BNI and government is possibly conceptually think of something where we can collaborate, work together. It need not be exclusive. We can open it to others as well, and then create something, because you understand the pain points better than me. Probably you, FITAPC and others can collaborate, come out with a model, and then we can work together and create an institution that helps. Because today one of the biggest challenge MSMEs face that I have witnessed personally, and in fact I have created a very interesting institution called as the Industrial Health Clinic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. IHC, the Telangana Industrial Health Clinic, it's one of its kind in India. The intent of IHC was to support SMEs. SMEs को हम लोग क्या करते हैं ना, basically अगर बड़े-बड़े लोग, मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, but बड़े-बड़े लोग और बड़े-बड़े कंपनीज अगर डिफॉल्ट कर जाती हैं हजारों करोड़ों के लोन पे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता. उनका तो लोन वेवर हो जाता है, पता नहीं क्यों हो जाता है. But small companies, if you default on 2 payments, bank will immediately christen you as an NPA, non-performing asset, और तीसरे महीने चौथे महीने आपको सिक डिक्लेयर किया जाता है, वहां पे खत्म हो जाता है। तो हम इंडस्ट्रियल हेल्थ क्लिनिक इसीलिए शुरू किए थे कि जो इंसिपिएंट सिकनेस बोलते हैं ना, मतलब आप सिक बनने से पहले थोड़ा जो इनिशियल स्टेज होता है इंसिपिएंट स्टेज में, इफ वी आर एबल टू स्पॉट इट, work with the entrepreneur, work with the banks, because banks unfortunately are imposing this SARFAESI Act recklessly and ruthlessly. उनको लगता है कि छोटे बिजनेस और इजी प्रे तो इनके पीछे पड़ो और इनको इजी कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है, बेसिकली कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है, इसलिए सो वी कैन गो आफ्टर देम. What industrial health clinic does is to look at incipient sick companies, go through a techno-economic viability study, work with the banks on restructuring loans, on making sure they understand what to do, and then work with the entrepreneur to ensure that the business survives. Some funding support is required from financial institutions. That also can be provided. So, if we can structure something together on these lines and maybe more, I think we can truly come up with a winner.
Like I said, if we can bridge the gap and BNI can support being, there's so many initiatives which people don't know about. If that can be voiced through BNI, that will be great help to all our members and all the MSMEs of the state.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm welcome that.
So, anything on youth and women entrepreneurs?
Well, for women entrepreneurs, we do two things. I'll come to the youth in a minute. For women entrepreneurs, we do two things. Of course, we have a VHub which handholds a lot of young women, and I'm proud of the work VHub has done. Truly astounding work. Some of the entrepreneurs I meet there are doing truly cutting-edge work, and truly delighted at the success they've had. Again, I'd love to see how the young women of BNI can actually have an exposure visit to VHub and see what can be done. Deepti is here somewhere, I think. You can work with Deepti and her team, because it's a brilliant institution that has been created. Of course, has to be utilized more effectively and has to ensure that creates more opportunities for young women. We also have created 3 industrial parks exclusively for women. We have one in Sultanpur and 2 more, one in Nandigam and one more, I can't recall the name right now. But 3 industrial parks exclusively for women entrepreneurs have been created. More importantly, in every industrial park, we have a quota for women. We have a quota for Dalits. We have a quota for marginalized, people from marginalized backgrounds and sections. We also have a quota for the physically disabled. So we ensure that inclusivity is an important ingredient of our industrialization policy. What we could also look at in future is how we can create more and more of these entities in the hinterland. I'm more focused on ensuring more opportunities are created in the rural Telangana. And on the youth part, I think, the most important realization that has to dawn on the governments and everybody else across the country is, honestly, today we are who we are because of this demographic dividend that we are reaping today. 65% of India is less than the age of 35, and I think that's our biggest strength today. Those are the guys who are really creating our resources, generating resources, amplifying our revenues, and really keeping the Indian flag flying high across the world as well. So where do I start? I mean, there are enough and more opportunities, just that the social conditioning needs to change. हमें बचपन से ही बोला जाता है कि रिस्क नहीं लो, डेट नहीं, कर्ज ना लो, और तेलुगु में अगर बोलूं तो अप्पू जैसी पप्पू कोड दिनोद्दू, మీరు తాహతుకు మించి అప్పు చేయొద్దు, ये सब बोला जाता है. और एक और चीज भी बताया जाता है बार बार हमें कि इंडिया में 2 ही चीज करो, या तो डॉक्टर बनो या इंजीनियर बनो. ज्यादातर लोग यही बोलते हैं. So one of the things that needs to happen among the society, in the society as well, is how this conditioning, this thinking, the entrepreneurship is fraught with risk. How can we tackle it? Because not everybody can get a government job. Not everybody can even become, a private sector employee. There are a lot of youngsters who have stars in their eyes for whom we have created a number of institutions, but there's not enough, that we can do. I think it's more about, see, for instance, the first company to have shipped a rocket into the sky was a T-Hub incubator called a Skyroot, which I think is a fascinating story if you ask me. The first Indian company. Even Elon Musk had to try thrice for SpaceX. But Skyroot did it in the first attempt. Likewise, Dhruva Space, another Hyderabad company, they sent out nano satellites into the orbit in the first attempt. So these are fantastic stories. I mean, I'm not talking just Kirana stores and, the typical businesses. I'm talking space tech, to groceries and FMCGs. I mean, you have to cover the whole gamut. I'm saying nothing is beyond the realm of impossible, beyond the realm of possible. So I think our youngsters have to realize that आज जो हम लोग product use करते हैं, Instagram, Snap, or even Twitter and other things, none of these are rocket sciences. These are very simple products, even WhatsApp, very simple product, just that somebody else had an idea before us. So therefore, they've made $19 billion, selling a simple tool like WhatsApp to Facebook. So we need to figure out such ideas. We need to come out with such, simpler, effective solutions, which will continue to keep the pot boiling.
Gaming is a big industry. So any plans for that, for the...
Gaming में थोड़ा एक मसला भी है कि, I've seen in this very city, in fact, some people who've become addicts and they start betting, they start, card clubs was a thing, 10 साल पहले Hyderabad में भी, card clubs was a big thing. And I know of people who've lost their lives and who've sold their properties in these card clubs.
Gaming, not that kind of gaming.
No, I understand. The question is, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Because the line is, it's a very thin line. Gaming में क्या होता है? मैं online रमी, कोई बोलता है it's a game of skill. मैं बोलता हूँ हाँ, but so you have to figure out. I don't play cards. In fact, I hate cards. So I personally, I have nothing against it, but there is a very thin line you have to draw. So if it does not involve betting, because I'm sure people are betting even on the World Cup, people are betting on elections. I know.
Okay, let me cut that question. So,
आप bet कर रहे हो?
I'm betting on you.
Thank you. That's a great line. You are a winner.
So, as BNI, we have sponsored 45 free seats for the T Hub. Whoever is coming out, entrepreneurs from there, and we would like to do a lot more and be include ourselves into the growth of Telangana. So, any areas you think we can collaborate?
There's plenty. I mean, where do I start? There's plenty to work on because, you guys are all about entrepreneurship. You guys are all about creating employment and wealth for the state and the country. And I think in our country, wealth creators are not respected enough, honestly. Wealth creators and entrepreneurship is not respected enough. In the world, elsewhere in the West, an entrepreneur is looked at with respect. The entrepreneur even has become, most of them have become poster boys. People admire Zuckerberg, people admire Larry, people admire Sergey. There's so many other people, who have become really poster boys. But in India, कोई आदमी जब पैसा बनाता है उसको मतलब शक के नजरिए से देखते हैं. So we need to change that bit of a mindset also. Start, respecting our entrepreneurs, making them our poster boys and poster girls, so that more and more youngsters come into this line of activity. Entrepreneurship is a culture. You have to admire Gujaratis for that. One thing, Gujaratis from a very early age, and even Marwadis in the country anywhere. No, seriously. Because even our chief minister says when we launch some programs, entrepreneurship is inculcated in these guys from a very young age. उनको बोला जाता है कि 16-17 की उम्र में आप आ जाओ और join हो जाओ, काम सीख लो, which is a good thing because end of the day, the question that a youngster needs to ask himself or herself is, do I work for myself or should I work for somebody else? And end of the day, that's an individual choice. But we can certainly, there are a number of areas where we can work together. Like I said, we can constitute like 5-6 people, team from BNI that can work with us, and we can pick and choose those areas.
What are the 5 sectors you think we should be focusing on?
Well, my dream is, like I said, tourism is one area which I would love to see more and more happen. Second thing I would focus on is sporting infrastructure because मुझे उम्मीद है कि इंडिया को एक मौका मिलेगा ओलंपिक्स होस्ट करने के लिए और मैं ये चाहता हूं कि हैदराबाद में होस्ट हो. That is one thing I'd love to see. The third thing is, I think, a combination of education and skilling because, this is an area where we can't have enough because the biggest strength of us, our country, our state is the youngsters. But if you harness that potential properly and make sure that they are skilled, because मुझे बहुत लोग पूछते हैं, मैं जब बोलता हूं उनको कि 3 लाख थे IT एम्प्लॉइज, आज 10 लाख हो गए, तो काफी सारे लोग पूछते हैं उसमें तेलंगाना वाले कितने हैं. अरे यार, जब पाए बड़ा करो, you continue to grow the pie and you skill yourself and up your skill, you will get an opportunity. ऐसा एक्सक्लूसिव अगर बना दोगे, बोलोगे कि नहीं यहाँ पर इसमें लोकल रिजर्वेशन लाओ, तो शायद वो गलत है. तो मैं इसीलिए कह रहा हूँ कि स्किलिंग और एजुकेशन का जो कॉम्बिनेशन, जो अभी मैं कह रहा था आपसे, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में भी अप्रेंटिसशिप होना चाहिए, प्रैक्टिस स्कूल होना चाहिए. Now, this is another sector I would love to see more and more happen. The fourth area is, of course, healthcare, because the out-of-pocket expenditure on healthcare is something that we've worked consciously on in the last 10 years. We've done well. There are free diagnostics now, free dispensaries, basti dawakhanas. We need to do more because we are building more hospitals now in Telangana. In Hyderabad alone, we are building 4 Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences. We are building a medical college in each and every district. All of this is going to help. And I would love to see how technology can, be a game changer. Want to do electronic medical records of each individual, ensure that in the golden hour some lives are saved. And the fifth and last thing I want to do, I'd love to see, is more and more entrepreneurship coming from my state. I've said this to Modi ji as well when he had called me. He had called all of us political party leaders on the eve of 75th year of independence. I said 3 ingredients that are important: innovation, infrastructure, inclusive growth. अगर ये तीनों हैं तो India by 2047 will surely become first world country.
100%.
Thank you.
Now, if you have some time, I will throw it open to the crowd if they have some questions. I will just take 1 or 2 questions, please. So, yes.
Yeah, please.
Can you pass the mic?
Use your lung power. I think we have only 5 minutes because I'm going to Mancherial and Khanapur, so please keep it direct and simple.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Santosh from Sanvian Technologies. Actually, the IT industry, okay, you developed all the IT industries in Kokapet and Gachibowli, high-tech city, right? So I would like to tell that if you develop in the whole city, like for example, Patancheru Mandal, Uppal, there is an IT industry. The Infosys is there in Pocharam, but like I
got the question. You're talking about growth in dispersion.
Yeah.
You're talking about staggering it all over. Unfortunately, the buildings in Kokapet and Gachibowli have become so beautiful that nobody wants to move out of there. What do I do? I'm trying very hard. I'm trying very, very hard. I'm trying very hard to take people away from the western part because it is decongesting the city as well. बहुत कोशिश कर रहा हूँ ऊपर ले जाने की, कोम्पल्ली ले जाने की. I'm trying my level best, and I'm even giving them value proposition. I'm saying lesser taxes, lesser real estate prices, and your employees anyway fly there. I think the solution is most likely in metro. I'm going to expand metro in the next term. The idea is to make it in the next 10 years, take it to 400 kilometers, and that possibly will answer. That possibly will be an answer.
Well, thank
Hello,
you so much.
hello.
Sir,
Good morning, KTR garu. Na peru Shekhar Dayam. I am into hosiery business. మేము డిఫరెంట్ జాకీ వ్యాన్స్ డిఫరెంట్ బ్రాండ్స్ డీల్ చేస్తాము. అలాగే పేజ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ని కూడా హైదరాబాద్లో మీరు తేవడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నారు. అలాగే డిఫరెంట్ బ్రాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. లైక్ మనము యూఎస్ బ్రాండ్ని చేస్తున్నాము. అది మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా కాన్సెప్ట్ లాగా మన దగ్గరనే మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ చేయడానికి మీరేమైనా చూస్తారు?
ఏది మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ అన్నారు?
లైక్ పేజ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఉన్నది కదా సార్,
పేజ్
ఇండస్ట్రీస్ లైక్ జాకీ
okay.
హైదరాబాద్లో లైక్ మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ప్లానింగ్లో ఉన్నారు. సో అది ఏ విధంగా చేయదలుచుకుంటున్నారు? లైక్ మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియాలో
అంటే అల్టిమేట్ గా మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ఫర్ ఇండియానా, మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ఫర్ ద వరల్డ్ అనే దాని మీద ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఒకవేళ ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ యూనివర్సల్ బ్రాండ్, అంతర్జాతీయ బ్రాండ్ అయితే దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు అ కాంట్రాక్ట్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మోడ్ లైక్ పేజ్ డస్. Otherwise, what can happen is, if you want to build your brand for India, there's plenty of scope. Just that you have to apply yourself a bit more. Yeah, guys, I really have to run. I'm going to Mancherial and Khanapur, so I'm flying out. So thank you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful insight about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to invite Sanjana to come and felicitate K.T. Ramarao garu.